Hello.
Echo. Hello. Alrighty then. I think it's recording. Hey.
Ace Ventura?
Hey. Yeah, it could be. Is that where you bend over? Never mind. That was Pet Detective, wasn't it?
Do not go in there.
Coming to you via the virtual airwaves of BRTV from the Big Easy in Louisiana, bringing you his philosophy and insight on life and all things pipe and premium tobacco related. Please welcome your host, Padre Piper.
Briar Report Television. Padre and...
Mark V of the Briar Bothy.
Did you just combine Mark VV and the Briar Bothy as Mark Via the Briar Bothy?
Yes, no. Mark VV of the Briar Bothy.
Confused, doesn't know who he is. Actually, you're holding two accounts now, aren't you?
Yeah. I have my parent account and my brand account.
All right. I don't even know what that means, but here we are. BRTV. This is episode two
Dose
of Middle Earth series from the Country Squire. Last month in July, we did episode 1. It's funny, we're very contiguous like that.
Yeah, episode 2 after episode 1, yes.
We do it that way on purpose.
Do it in line.
Episode 1, we sampled. What did we sample?
That was
Old Toby.
Old Toby,
which is an aromatic, very pleasant. Episode 2, and the way you have done this is you've lined up these blends. So every other one's going to be aromatic, non-aromatic, aromatic, non-aromatic.
It turned out that way, yeah.
So today we're in for a non-aromatic, a little something called, I called it Bag Note earlier, and that was incorrect.
It's actually Bag End.
Bag End, which is listed as a Scottish blend. Mm-hmm. I don't know what that means. What is exactly a Scottish blend?
Me either. I think it's just that it's a Virginia blend that has some Latakia in it, but I don't see. Beyond that,
back in the day, we used to call that an English blend.
English blend.
Yes. So I don't know. A Scotchman blended this or something. Is that what makes it a
Scottish man? And John David Cole of the Country Squire.
John David was wearing a kilt the day he put this together.
Probably.
Yeah, that could be what it is. Now, also, before we get into house cleaning with the pipe, I've got my Country Squire tobacconist mug with some black coffee in it.
I have my BRTV mug with some black coffee in it as well.
And you are wearing the Country Squire t-shirt.
Yes.
And shorts, and I'm looking a little formal. Some of us work today. So, if you don't mind, I'm going to get a little bit Kaz for this.
You do you.
I'm going to do that. In fact, I'm even going to tuck this puppy in. And, all right.
Lord of the Rings.
Wait,
can
I hold the orb?
There you go.
Yeah, it's backwards. I don't know how the weather people do this. Okay. Anyway, so, all right. Now, you have already spread this out for us. Yes. So you want to give a little shot to that to the folks who might be choosing to embark upon this journey with us at home.
See, so Bag End is a bit of a chunky Scottish mixture. Comes in these nice pieces of broken flake.
It's good looking.
Like that. So I rubbed it down into this plate.
Okay. And I like to do the Bag Note of Bag End. Can I snort that?
You can.
All right. There's some chunks in there. Okay, now, this is kind of nondescript, high-quality tobacco.
Yeah, just a very tobacco-y aroma.
I don't detect any kind of a casing to it that would be, flavoring of any sort.
I don't even really smell the Latakia, but I know it's in there.
There's Latakia in there? That surprises me. I do see some dark. Do you think that's Latakia?
Probably.
There's no Dark Fire Kentucky in here, is there?
I don't think so.
Just Virginia's?
You have the little printout thing?
You know what? I do have the little printout thing. Well, you want to share that? This comes from tobaccoreviews.com.
Yes, so a perfect addition to your cozy evening by the fire, best enjoyed after unburdening from the day's heavy load and soggy boots, because you're walking around Middle Earth, so your boots will be soggy.
What season is August in Middle Earth? Because where I am, it's summertime, and I'm not setting a fire. I just feel like I've been hanging out at one all day.
Maybe it's a little chilly. I don't know. I think Middle Earth is in Australia, so
Well, they're backwards. Sorry about that, Jack Daniels, the illusionist.
this blend embodies the safety and comfort of your snug den and is a treat while you reflect and unwind. Perfect for the Latakia lover, or Latakia lover. Naturally sweet, ready rubbed, and flute cured, Virginia's blend with a light burley, Latakia, and exquisite Turkish tobaccos to form a complex smoke that will give the seasoned pipe smoker hours of cheer.
Okay, it's odd because I'm not picking up on the sniffer, Orientals or Latakia.
Expertly blended.
And that's why?
Yeah.
And I don't know really what I'm picking up. I guess you could say Virginia's, but I don't know. It's
I guess there's a little sourness to it that I guess you could attribute to the Orientals. There's a twig.
You don't smoke the twigs?
No.
I actually
don't.
like the twigs.
Could be a clove.
Could be from China. It might be one of those seeds that.
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, I don't know what that is either. But it's all the rage right now. All right, you want to load up and get this puppy going, and I'll keep the conversation going as he loads his pipe, which is
It's called The Shire, which is very appropriate, from the Missouri Meerschaum Cobbett series.
very good. We'll be doing episode 3 in September, and if I'm not mistaken, we move back to an aromatic, and I think it is Second Breakfast.
Yes, second breakfast.
So we'll be doing Second Breakfast in September. You can still purchase the sampler right now from Country Squire Tobacconist. And what is their address? The Country Squire online?
I think it's the countrysquireonline.com. Yeah.
If you just do a search in a web browser for Country Squire Middle Earth, throw BRTV in there, and you'll find that page that is set up specifically for this sampler. You get an ounce of each of the 6 backies that we're going to be going through. And again, we're only in month 2 here. So
You have time to catch up.
we've only done 1.
All right, I think I'm ready.
Plenty of time to catch up. And how did it pack?
No,
You broke it down pretty
still
well
a little
there,
chunky, so
Little chunky?
Might be a little more. It was more difficult than I expected.
Okay.
If that makes any sense.
Well, I like those. You left some little pieces here that we can put on. I can put on top.
Yeah, put a little bit on top as well.
Okay. All right. How's your draw?
It's a little. I mean, it's tighter than open, so that's good.
And how? What's the taste like on the draw? The pre-light. taste.
Nondescript.
Kind of like the smell, huh?
Kind of nondescript.
Have you had this before?
Yes.
Okay. See, I have not. I am coming at this blind. I've not had this blend.
I've had this unaged and aged for quite a while, so I think it tends to get better with age because of the Virginias, but
Of course.
it's I've had it recently as well, and it's pretty good either way.
You need a lighter?
I guess that's what I was looking for.
You know who you are. You know we're going to be called uncivilized for using that lighter.
You got a little mini one down there that you gave me.
You still have that?
Yeah.
I like my little mini one, but it was running out. Yeah, there it is. All right.
That flame is something to be desired.
It's starting to run out.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I've got mine packed. I'm going to put a little bit of a kindling on top. And
Kind of awkward.
you are awkward. I mean, I didn't want to say anything.
Am I odoriferous today?
Are you odoriferous today?
Only you could
Have
tell
you
me.
been cutting grass or something before you came over here? I would like to get a room note on that. And I'm not sure I pick up anything distinct or unique on the room note. So I'm hoping the flavor of this particular blend gives us something a little bit more to work with than the bag note. And so I find the room note to be kind of unobtrusive. It's certainly not an aromatic, but it's not a lat bomb room killer.
No.
Nor is it, now it's got burley in it, but I'm not picking up that burley cigarette type of rum note.
I get a little sourness, so I'm assuming that's the Orientals.
Okay. So, on your draw, your charring light and draw, what you got there? And I'm going to go ahead and blaze up mine.
There's a surprising lack of sweetness. You kind of a lot of the blends that they do I can't talk today. The blends they do at the Country Squire, he uses quite a bit of even the non-aromatics, a very sweet Virginia.
Yeah.
And I'm not getting a whole lot of that in this blend. You'll forgive me, I'm having trouble getting it going, but
Right off the bat, and again, this is my very first time ever, I'm going to suspect, and you can confirm this if this has been your experience with this, I suspect this is going to be a very dry smoke.
Yes.
And probably a very cool smoke too, even though it's Virginia dependent. It just strikes me right off that charring light that we're not going to have a moisture problem. And this was perfect. This was Goldilocks, as our friend Bradley might say. This was neither too dry nor too wet for packing and lighting. So flavor thus far is, I don't know yet. It's nothing has turned me off about it. It seems like it's a good solid leaf flavor. We'll see as we get into it.
I would say out of the 6 of the tobaccos we're going to be going through, this is the least flavored. It is the most unaromatic out of the 6. I mean, it is considered a non-aromatic,
Yes.
as is Kingsfoil and Green Dragon. But those have a little sweetness to them that Bag End does not.
So you see, I've had Green Dragon, and that is to me a wonderful, wonderful Virginia. Everything you would expect from a good Virginia. This has Virginia in it.
This has body to it that the other ones do not have. It's a little. I find the nicotine content is a lot higher. I find the smoke is a little more bold and strong. I think it's because of the flue curing they do with the Virginias. I just don't know, but
That's interesting because, this is not, as much as this looks to be a very Virginia forward looking tobacco, I'm not getting that in the flavor profile. Not that there's anything wrong with the flavor profile, but you're right. It doesn't have that forward sweetness you would expect from a Virginia. I'm not getting the sweetness that you would get from a Latakia either. I'm really surprised to find out there's Latakia in there.
yeah, it's very little,
But it could be. I'm going to go back to that. You said it, I think, a little facetiously. Expertly blended.
expertly blended.
So it may be that it's quite equally blended because there's burley in here. I'm not picking up on any overly nuttiness kind of. I'm not getting anything that's sticking out. That's telling me this is a Virginia forward. This is a burley forward. This is a Latakia forward. This is Turkish forward.
I mean, I feel like for me, I'm getting a lot more of the burley and less of the Virginia. It's more of the burley and more of the Turkish. I don't get a lot of the Latakia. I don't get a lot of the Virginia. But maybe that's just me. I don't know. It reminds me very distinctly of. Have you ever had McBaron's H.H. Burley Flake?
Yes.
It kind of reminds me of that, but not quite as. It's not sweet like the Burley Flake is.
I will say this on retrohale. I mean, it's smooth as a baby's bottom.
A baby's bottom.
Well, that was Dunhill.
Yeah, it is.
They had
Borrow your lighter.
certainly.
The Acolyte's lighter.
Don't go there.
You know who you are.
So this is interesting. This is
Not what you expected, huh?
I didn't know what to expect because I've never had it. I honestly don't know what a Scottish blend is.
Neither do I, but I was just, throwing some things out there. I'm sure there's a definition of it, but again, with tobaccos, a lot of things are subjective.
Well,
a lot of people have their own.
Can you tell me the difference between an English blend and a Balkan blend? And I know there's somebody out there watching who's going to give us a dissertation on it. But at the end of the day, seriously? Or an American blend versus an American aromatic,
Back in the day, an English blend literally meant a blend from England. So,
well,
there you go.
And if I'm not mistaken, the other thing that really made an English blend had nothing to do with latakia, like we often say today. It had to do with, again, as you just mentioned, the source or origin of it, but also the fact that it had no additive, no flavors,
flavoring,
kind of where our FDA is moving us today.
Yeah. So we'll be right with England very soon. Or the pre-Revolutionary War England. I don't know.
I'll tell you what I like about this, and I'll tell you what it's in kind of ringing a bell for me, a familiarity. Not totally. In a little bit of a way, it reminds me of Acadian Perique. Okay, but it doesn't have Perique in it. But what reminds me about it is it's that you're going to get a dry smoke. You're going to get a flavorful. This is a full-bodied flavor to it, just like that.
I agree with you. Yeah, very much so.
And I am getting a little bit more of the burliness. That I got a little bit of a nutty. I don't know what that was, but something pleasant. I guess it's
probably the burley.
Yeah, it's definitely coming from the burley.
I'm getting actually a little gurgle in this pipe. I'm having a very unique experience with this because it's.
I'm surprised because I have said I think this is going to be a dry smoke, and thus far for me it has been.
Yeah.
I would suspect that the room note for this is not something that is all that pleasant to a non-smoker.
I would say it's probably fairly cigarette-y.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably better than a cigarette, but it's in that realm. It's not an English lat bomb sort of realm. It's not an aromatic. It's not a Virginia. Virginias and aromatics often are very pleasant to the non-smoker.
Kind of chugging it a little bit, so I'm getting a little bit of, and maybe that's probably why I'm having an issue with the moisture. But I find this out of the six is probably the most bitey of the six. We have this common conception that all the tobaccos from the Country Squire, none of them bite. Well, I think this one out of all of them that I've ever had is the most bitey. But of course, it could be my palate, could be my pH.
I'm not getting any bite from this.
So everybody's different.
It's interesting that you say that, though, because I do think our pH changes over time, and I don't know why.
Could be depending on what you ate before you smoked.
I'll tell you this. About a year and a half ago, I tried for the very first time, and I can't believe I was, I remember tweeting about it, like, where have you been all my life? I tried Sir Walter Raleigh, the original, not the aromatic, the original. Loved it. Still like it. Still very flavorful, but the past half dozen times I've smoked it, it has bit me. And I don't know why. It did not do that when I first tried it. The Sir Walter Raleigh aromatic does not. It's a totally different smoke too. I mean, it's a different cut. It's a different flavor. Everything's different about it.
Yeah.
So to compare Sir Walter Raleigh to Sir Walter Raleigh aromatic, it's apples and oranges. But for some reason, that dag-blasted original bites me now, and it never used to, and it's a shame because I thoroughly enjoyed it. But I say all that to say this: I'm not getting any kind of a bite from this like you're talking, and I'm not even seeing the potential for it at this time. That is also the experience I've had with Green Dragon, which is, if I'm not mistaken, is that a straight Virginia or does that have Perique in it? I think it's
a straight Virginia.
I think it is a straight Virginia.
I think it's just a Virginia blend, yeah.
And I have freight trained that one before and not gotten bite from it, which You're always at danger of getting bite from anything, but particularly a Virginia.
Oh, should I talk about Bag End before Flat Cap Piper gets mad at me and explain what Bag End is?
Oh, that's right. He did ask for that, didn't
Yeah.
he? Yes.
I almost.
And then
forgot
after
about
that, we need to talk a little bit about Flat Cap's.
his poll. Yeah.
Yeah, his little survey instrument that he's designed. So let's give a shout out to Flat Cap Piper and what is this? This is all these names in this Middle Earth series obviously are a reference to.
Yeah. So
Oh,
Middle Earth.
oh look, I
Lord
made
of the Rings.
Is it a Lord of the Rings or is it a lollipop? I made a lollipop. Go ahead. What's it mean?
Stop being children for a second.
I resemble that remark.
So of course the first episode we did was
Old Toby.
Old Toby, Tobold Hornblower. We smoked his tobacco,
Yes, we did.
and now we are as I
Very
said,
enjoyable.
following the fellowship. I like to use
Mm-hmm.
that term. We are still in the Shire at Bag End, and Bag End is the home of Bilbo and Frodo, and of course it's passed on to Samwise after both them leave Middle Earth, but is literally the house that they live in the Shire.
The house is named Bag End?
Bag End. Every one of the houses has its own name, and Bag End is the home of Frodo and Bilbo Baggins.
Frodo?
Frodo.
Why is it called Bag End?
I couldn't answer that. That's what they call it. Yeah.
I like this. I would see this scratching an itch when what you're craving is the flavor of tobacco as opposed to the flavor added to a tobacco. I would say it is still smoking dry for me. It pairs well with black coffee,
It does.
which, that's usually the test for me.
I would imagine most non-aromatics do pair well
Yeah.
with black coffee, just because there's no flavors to contend with.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, from a added flavor perspective, you're not smoking a cherry blend.
Right, that's right. This is not a sweet blend. Now, you talked about picking up some of the sours of the Turkish. I haven't gotten that.
I find if you let it sit, and this is just for contrast, that this blend does sweeten up over time. Because I have a
When you say that, you mean sit in a jar or sit in the pipe?
sit in a jar.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a little jar of bagging at home that probably was put in the jar in 2017. So,
Well, that would make sense. with
over
the
3
Virginias.
years. Yeah, the Virginias have
Yeah.
the little microbes have eaten up all the sugars and made it sweeter, I guess.
Okay, well, we'll keep chugging along on this. Now, speaking of flat cap piper, he's developed a little instrument.
Yeah,
And did you get Tom to watch that video?
I did watch the video.
Why don't you tell us a little about that?
I think you can go to the Briar Report TV website and
Yes.
it's set up on the Middle Earth page. But basically, it's a survey essentially that asks you what you thought of the flavor profile, whether it's great or terrible, or the Nick hit. I believe is one of the categories.
Which is, I like that.
Yeah.
I like the
Yeah.
addition of that. Now, and I can see that this one's got some nick to it. I'm already
Yeah.
starting now.
And so even at the end of the little survey, once you're about to submit your answer or your selections, there's a little comment box so you can, of course, give your expanded thoughts on the blend.
So it's an opportunity
very-
to bring a little objectivity. My answers are going to be different than your answers,
Sure.
presumably, but the community, all having a vote there, we get a tobaccoreviews.com type of thing.
Right.
A little different profile that Flat Cap has developed here. Again, with some stuff that I think I like having in there, like the Nick hit.
Yeah. And I'm not really sure. The one thing I'm not sure of is how Phil is going to translate that into a displayed result of how you're going to be able to see everybody's
Yeah. whether a user's individual results for all their blends will be available,
Or if it's a
or is it
composite.
just a composite of,
Yeah.
on blend A, this is 18 users.
Yeah.
This is what you're getting.
So I'm sure Phil will have a little
We'll have
more
to find out
information.
about that. When I get Phil on Padre and Pals,
Oh, Phil's going to be on
he
Padre
can
Pals?
tell us about that.
Oh, in video?
Yeah.
Man, that's a grab.
Well, if somebody wants to start an online petition, put Phil on Padre.
Have we gotten 1,000 subscribers on Briar Report TV's
I don't
YouTube?
know. I should go over
YouTube page?
and I'm going to look that up.
Because once he gets to 1,000 subscribers,
He was obligated, right?
he's obligated to make a video. So
Now, he was threatening to put Needleman's face in the video.
Phil's going to discontinue this series if we keep ragging on him.
All right, let me go into. I gotta switch out of the church's account.
All right, Phil, I got a proposal. Either you come on video, or you get Smell-O-Vision working finally, because we've been waiting for that for quite a while now. I think. Still trying to get that working.
When you search Briar Report on YouTube, what you get is about 1,000 videos saying Phil needs to make a damn video. Oh, here it is. Okay. He's up to 691 subscribers. So
Getting
you
close.
can go on over, that's what it looks like, to Briar Report and subscribe.
Now supposedly that's a caricature of Phil, right? That's kind of what he looks like, but in animated form.
I believe so.
Yeah.
So, go subscribe to Briar Report. And then aggravate him to make a video. I offered him anytime he wants to come on Padre and Pals. He's the next guest in line.
What did you offer him? Did you give him some kind of sweet deal?
Yeah, I was going to send him a coffee mug.
No. Which? Hey Phil, are we going to get some Briar Report TV shirts at some point so we can wear them on the show?
I think he needs to make some, little clergy
BRT.
collars. BRTV right across the white part there. Yeah.
I was going to show you I had a little bite. Look at my BRTV mug. It's got a little bite out of the R.
You put that in the dishwasher, didn't you?
No.
No?
It was always like that.
It came like that?
It came like that.
Phil sent you a
Phil
defective
sent me a
mug.
defective mug. Phil! You see that? We got a little bite out of the R.
I think it's special.
It is special. Special to me.
I always like a pipe that has a little bit of a
character.
a little fault to it.
Yeah, it's character.
Character. I had a pipe break recently.
Oh, I saw that. That's awful.
Yeah, it was. It's horrible.
Did you
but-
cry?
No, truth be told, it was. I mean, the pipe smoked wonderfully, but it's not like it was a Dunhill. Not that I own Dunhills. Well, I do own one Dunhill, but it was gifted to me. It was a Mr. Bragg. I think I spent under $22 for it. So, if that's any consolation, but the thing was, it was loaded and ready to go.
Oh, yeah, so you were about to smoke it.
Yeah, and that was what was so aggravating.
I'm actually having to take a little of the ash off the top so I can relight it because I'm having some burn issues. And I want
I've never done that before. You're actually literally removing ash
Yep.
instead of tamping it down. What is the advantage of that?
Well, sometimes the ash will create a layer that doesn't allow. If you tamp it a little too aggressively, it sometimes will form like a layer that you can't. That air just won't go through as easily. So you have a little bit of a airflow issue.
Gotcha. So what you're saying is that ash was just too big for you.
Yeah, and I had to I couldn't tamp that ash anymore. I had to literally remove that ash.
We now return to regularly scheduled programming after having spent the last 15 seconds acting like 12-year-old boys.
This is a serious show, damn it. Can you say damn on YouTube?
Yeah, I think you can.
Can you say damn on Briar Report TV?
It is serious. I mean, we're a hair away from being so serious that we could be on NPR. Maybe not.
I listen to NPR too.
I do. That's how I know how serious they are. So you got any stories to tell as we smoke through this?
Not really.
I went on vacation.
You did.
And actually, it was the week I was back from vacation. You know, I didn't smoke a pipe at all on vacation. It just
missed opportunity.
I know it just didn't pop up the chance for it. I brought some with me, and I brought some blends. I just didn't get to it. But so I was back from vacation when I loaded that pipe and had a break. And that week back from vacation, there was a lot. It was Murphy's Law at work, like just stuff going wrong. You know how it is. You work hard the week before vacation to get ahead, so you leave and you can come back, and then you come back and, you know, everything's haywire anyway, and then your pipe breaks, and
Yeah.
it's just one of those things.
My pipe always breaks when I come back from vacation, too.
How many Mr. Broggs do you own, Mark VV?
I have the one that you gave me.
That's one.
That's one. There's a couple other ones. But
You do not own a couple of other
I
ones.
do have a couple of
You
ones.
don't own a pipe other than that Mr. Brogg and maybe some Missouri Meerschaums that are under $800.
I don't have any pipes that are over $800. Good Lord.
He lies.
Poss-
He's a banker.
Possibly. I do have a Dunhill. Maybe it'll be worth $800 one day.
Yeah, I have a Dunhill, but that was gifted to me by a very generous member of our community, Sir James.
If anybody wants to gift me a Dunhill, I'm not going to be ashamed. You can gift it to me.
The one he sent me is from '85.
My birthday year is 83. Just,
Good Lord, your birthday year is '83?
yeah.
My high school graduation year was '85. That's where I was going with this.
Old man.
I am old. Respect your elders, boy. Respect my authority!
So, if you were to gift me a Dunhill, an 83 would be really nice of you. I guess I should stop shilling myself out for a Dunhill.
So what is the most expensive pipe you own?
Probably the Dunhill.
Oh, you do have a Dunhill.
Yeah.
Okay, what year?
2016 or something.
You bought it new?
Yeah. From the Country Squire.
Wow, you did. You spent a little bucks on that.
John David likes me.
I guess so. Was that like a second mortgage?
Yeah. It may have gone on the second mortgage. I'm not going to disclose that information on Briar Report TV.
Okay. I'll say this. The one thing that has changed for me at this halfway or a little past halfway point of the bowl is I find the retro hail has gotten a little bit more, I don't know what the word is I'm looking for. I said it was very smooth, I think is the word I might have used in the beginning. I mean, it was just baby's bottom. And now it's a little bit more of the baby's bottom may have a hemorrhoid. No, I just mean it's a little bit more
aggressive.
It's more aggressive, more assertive. It's not bad. It's just not as smooth on the retro hail as it was earlier.
That's fair.
I also think the overall flavor profile at this point has rounded out a bit. And again, I'm still not able to necessarily pick out each individual type of tobacco.
Yeah.
However, it's melding very well together as in unison.
I find I'm picking up a little of the nicotine now. I don't know about you.
Yes.
Yes.
It's got some nick to it.
I'm definitely getting a little more of the nick hit. Far more than the Old Toby. And I think this, again, is probably the most nicotine full blend out of the six. I don't think any of the other ones have near the... Or you're not going to get nearly the same experience as you will with this one.
I could see this being one I keep on the shelf the way I keep Acadian Perique on the shelf. Yeah. When I want something that doesn't have all the stuff added to it. Yeah. And sometimes, I'm looking for something sweet. And so maybe it's a natural sweetness and I'll go to a Virginia. Sometimes I'm looking for an aromatic. I was enjoying Friday night Sir Walter Raleigh aromatic because I was just kind of craving that flavor. sometimes what I want is just leaf. And for me, my go-to lately has been Acadian Perique for that. I could see this being an alternative to that without the Perique. If you wanted that tobacco flavor without the spiciness of the Perique, this would be a good go-to tobacco for that. If you were looking for something where maybe you needed a little bit of a stimulation to study or something, there's definitely some Nick hit to this.
It's a very nice blend. Very nice.
I don't think this is going to be a crowd pleaser on the rum note.
No, I don't think it's going to be a crowd. I think it probably, out of the 6 blends, this will probably be, I don't want to say rated the lowest, but it depends. Again, it depends on the smoker. I think I would imagine there's a lot of aromatic smokers on YouTube.
Yeah, I think for
PRTV.
somebody who's not an aromatic smoker, this is probably a nice blend.
Yeah.
If you're just a non-aromatic kind of guy, you enjoy Burleys, you enjoy Virginias. I'm sorry I'm not hitting up on the Latakia for this, but
Yeah, it's so subtle in there.
and it may be there as a coolant, just to
Yeah.
cool
Sure
things
does.
down.
I do have a little bit of not a story per se, but a little commentary on something John David had said
Commentary on.
his, and this is why I think he's such an expert blender, is that he, on this past week of Country Squire Radio, they were talking about, I don't remember how they got into the topic, but I think they were defending aromatics. I think there was a
Oh, probably because of the FDA stuff.
yeah, but he was saying that a lot of the even the non-aromatic tobaccos that we smoke, a lot of them are topped with
Yeah.
something, usually
Yeah.
some kind of sugar water or something like that to kind of rein in the
And to keep for a
Balance.
consistent flavor
Right.
from batch to
because
batch.
tobacco by itself, unflavored, uncased, is not a great tasting thing,
Yeah.
from what I understand. Though I don't know how that relates to cigars. Like, cigars taste pretty good to me, but I don't know if they do something to the leaves to make them a little more palatable. I have no idea. But what I do know is he did say that most, even your non-aromatic tobaccos, most of them have some kind of
Casing.
added casing,
Yeah.
whether it's just simple sweet sugary topping, or not a sweet sugary topping, but just a little bit of
Something.
sweetness to
Yeah,
round out the flavor.
Yeah.
And he said that one of the tobaccos that he does at the Country Squire that is not an aromatic, I think he says he uses a little bit of a mint tobacco, but you would never know because he's that good of a blender,
Right.
right?
So it's almost like cooking.
Yeah.
You may be adding black pepper to something, but you're not getting a black pepper flavor in the final product.
It's just enhancing the
It's
rest
done
of it.
something else.
Yeah.
People who often cook with alcohol, alcohol will, first of all, it cooks away, it evaporates out. But before it does so with a lot of different things,
Yeah.
it will cause certain vegetation. I believe onions is one of these. It causes the onion to release something that just cooking an onion down wouldn't naturally do by itself. So that flavor gets released, and then the alcohol goes away. It burns off. And so I would suspect that's analogous to what John David may be doing with, say, a mint tobacco. When you say mint, I immediately thought of menthol. I hope that wasn't
No, it's not really a menthol.
cool
It's an
cigarettes.
actual like mint.
a mint tobacco.
Mint tobacco, yeah.
Okay.
So mint flavoring they use
Mhm.
in probably an unflavored black Cavendish that he probably taught. I don't know how he does his magic, but he does magic.
He's a magic man. I think Hart sang about him.
But the point is
You have a point?
that he's a good blender, and he weaved the Latakia in this blend so expertly, you wouldn't even know it's there. So there you go.
So it's playing a supporting role.
Very, very.
So I would
fun.
imagine if you took the Latakia away from this blend, it's going to be something totally different.
Yeah, I would think so.
Now, since we've last released a video on BRTV, you have actually put a video up
I have.
on YTPC.
I have.
And that's at, your handle is the Briar
The
Bothy.
Briar Bothy, yes. And I have
Why don't you tell us a little about that?
I have another video coming up very soon, actually. I probably recorded it, not tonight, tomorrow.
And you're recording in the Bothy.
In the Bothy, in my shed.
Somebody's new to this. Why don't you tell us about the Bothy? Like why it's called the Bothy? What is a Bothy?
I have to go into that all again.
Do I have to take a Bothy?
You don't need to take a Bothy. A Bothy is, as I've described in the past, it's camping without a tent. It's literally a shelter that you can stay in, eat, drink, build a fire, and then leave. A Bothy is a shelter they have in the Scottish countryside.
Did you say Scottish?
Scottish in Scotland.
And we're smoking a Scottish blend.
We're Scottish. Yeah, we are very much so. I feel like I'm in Scotland right now. But it's they have them littered all over Scotland. They're called Bothies, and that's where I don't think they call them Bothies anywhere else, but they probably call them something else in other European Union countries. In the United Kingdom, probably in Ireland, they're called she sheds, he sheds, or something of the
I think they're
nature.
called Erango Bothies.
Erango Bothy. So anyway, it's basically a free to stay in shelter that you go pop a squat in and hang out for a bit and rest your weary bones and then leave.
Here in America, we call those underpasses.
We do. You can go stay under a bridge. But anyway, but I call it the Bothy because it's where I rest after I cut the grass, do yard work. It's my Bothy.
You don't cut your grass.
I do. Well, I do now. And there's
a story that we just can't get into on the air about that.
I do now.
Yeah.
So. So anyway.
That's funny. I wish we could share that, but we can't go there. That would not be nice. All right. I will say this. This is, to me, I feel the pipe heating up, but the tobacco is not heating to a point where it's causing any distress on the tongue. I've not gotten any bite, any significant heat. The flavor profile has remained a nice natural leaf flavor. Again, it melds quite well. I've not been able at all through this smoke to pick out and say, there's the Virginia. I did get a little nuttiness at one point, I'm assuming from the burley.
Yeah.
Not enough sourness there for me to say, hey, there's the Turkish kicking in. Not getting that Latakia sweetness that one would suspect or expect. So it plays well together. If you're looking for a nice natural flavor, you're not afraid that the room note is going to be offensive to anybody. This is probably a nice smoke. I would say the Nick hit for me is probably about medium, maybe a little past medium.
It's comfortable, but it's not overwhelming.
It's not killing me. And truth be told, I haven't really eaten anything of substance today, and so it's not got my heart pounding or anything like that. But you can tell it's got potential.
Yep.
If this had been a bigger bowl and I had really been mindlessly going at it while I'm working, typing, studying, reading, I could see myself getting a little a little too much happening there.
Yes.
And overall, I wouldn't turn my nose up at this. I think this, for me, this blend would serve a very specific place in my rotation. It will be, in fact, something I reach for when I want a good tobacco flavor. I don't want any of the silliness of an aromatic. Sometimes I like the silliness of an aromatic. Sometimes I like the tease of some of these hybrids. I love hybrids.
Yeah.
Sometimes I want something really unique like that. What's that?
Grousemore?
Grousemore is extremely unique. That's because of that essence of Lakelands. No, was it Visions of Caiaphas? Is that the...
Yeah, that's
is that really unique one that's got that kind of grapey sort of wine?
It's a winey kind of flavor. Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes you want something really unique. There's nothing unique about this other than that it's good leaf, and sometimes that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
And this would be a good go-to. This I would add this up there with my Acadian Perique for that purpose.
And this is a significant difference from Old Toby. Whereas
Oh,
Old Toby
yeah.
was
Yeah.
sweet, but subtly sweet. There was no vanilla, it was
Yeah.
just kind of a sugary sweetness. This is complete opposite end
Yeah.
of the spectrum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So again, I'm hoping that folks are able to. I don't know. You said it's on the BRTV, the BriarReport.org side. You can go and find the little survey, and so maybe you could submit your thoughts on this blend, clicking the boxes in terms of all the different variables that are offered there. And we'll see what other people are thinking about this blend. In summary, you got anything to add to it?
No, I think that's pretty accurate. I mean, it is very much so it's a bolder blend.
It is bold.
There's very little, if no sweetness to it whatsoever. That doesn't strike me as being. The Virginias are very much I want to say a background player. They're there, but I taste more of the burley and the Turkish.
And there's not any kind of I'm not getting an after flavor, an aftertaste.
No, there's not a lot left in the palate after either. I would agree.
No, and it seems to be smoking down to a nice fine ash. I mean,
That is a very.
maybe a 12-year-old boy again there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sorry.
All right. So I guess this would be a good time for us to wrap it up. But before we do that, this is for August. In September, we're going to move back to the aromatics within the Middle Earth series from the Country Squire Tobacconist, and we're going to go with Second Breakfast.
Now, I was thinking about this earlier. Actually, the next blend we should do is probably Green Dragon, just based on my following the fellowship. But
you can do that, but Phil's going to kill you because it's
No,
already published.
Second Breakfast is the next one. It's fine. It's not a big deal. We'll deal with it.
We can remember this when we get to Green Dragon. Is
Yeah.
is Green Dragon September, October, November?
Something like that. No.
You don't know. You have no
Whatever
clue.
the month is before that.
October?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah. So it's the next non-aromatic.
Right.
Okay, that's fine. That'll work quite well. And you rubbed out quite a little bit of this, so we have some leftovers. If anybody wants some, you can just reach right out and grab that.
And the smell-o-vision. Have you smelled any of the? Would you like the bag note?
Yeah, it's even from the get-go on the bag note. It was just a nice leaf.
I get a little sweetness on the bag note.
Do you?
I don't know about you, but I
Do you think it's changed since you've lit up and smoked and?
yeah, it's definitely. I don't know what the word you would use for it, but it's changed quite a bit.
I'm getting a little bit.
Oh, you mean from when we
Yeah,
opened
this.
it?
Yeah,
No, I guess.
I'm almost getting a little bit of the Virginia-y kind of.
Yeah,
Dare I say ketchup-y McClellan's, just tiny
tiny bit. Yeah.
bit in there. So there it is.
Bag end.
Bag end, not a bad deal. We will be back in September, right here on BRTV, as we continue the series, the Middle Earth Series Sampler. Again, you can get yours from the Country Squire Tobacconist in Jackson, Mississippi. Our good friend John David down there. And of course, a lot of folks listen to Country Squire Radio, a wonderful podcast. And so we salute you, sir, John David. Thank you very much. And to Phil at Briar Report, salute. Flat Cap Piper, we appreciate what you've done with the survey. Salute to you, my friend. That's very good. You look a little like Gomer Pyle when you do that, but golly, surprise, surprise, surprise. Anything you want to say before we close it out?
I was trying to think of something snarky, but no,
You got nothing, do you?
I got nothing.
You know, it's starting to rain.
It is
You hear that?
very
Yeah.
much so. I'm gonna have
Yeah,
to
so-
walk out when I go home and that.
For this guy,
Bye, Bothy.
Padre, wishing you and yours God's peace, grace, and blessings. Do we keep talking at this point?
This is the Wayne's World thing where they go
Fade,
and then it fades
fade,
to black.
and we're out.